All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Naresh Magu. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Phase 1 of Mahakal Lok Corridor at Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. Says New India is moving forward with its ancient values and reviving tradition of science and research along with faith. President Draupadi Murmu to be on a 3-day visit to Tripura and Assam from today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says strengthening multilateral institutions will be India's priority during its year-long G20 presidency. India says terrorist outfits posing threats to Africa's security deserve UN Security Council's attention. IMF cuts global GDP growth projection. India to remain world's fastest growing major economy. IMF expects inflation in India to come down to 4% next year. New highly infectious variants of COVID emerge in China. And in cricket, India beat South Africa by 7 wickets in third and final ODI to clinch the series 2-1. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicated to the nation Phase 1 of the Mahakal Lok project in the Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh yesterday. Mr. Modi also performed puja and aarti at the Mahakal Temple. Addressing a public meeting after the inaugural ceremony, the Prime Minister said Ujjain has led India's wealth and prosperity, knowledge and dignity, civilization and literature for thousands of years. Mr. Modi said every particle of Ujjain is engulfed in spirituality and it transmits ethereal energy in every nook and corner.
उज्जैन की ये ऊर्जा, ये उत्साह, अवंतिका की ये आभा, ये अद्भुतता, ये आनंद, महाकाल की ये महिमा, ये महात्मय, महाकाल लोक में लौकिक कुछ भी नहीं है। शंकर के सानिध्य में साधारण कुछ भी नहीं है। सब कुछ अलौकिक है, असाधारण है, अविस्मरणीय है, अविश्वसनीय है। मैं आज महसूस कर रहा हूं, हमारी तपस्या और आस्था से जब महाकाल प्रसन्न होते हैं तो उनके आशीर्वाद से ऐसे ही भव्य स्वरूप का निर्माण होता है.
He said in order to reach the pinnacle of success, it is necessary that the nation touches its cultural heights and stands proudly with its identity. Prime Minister said cultural philosophy of India is once again reaching the summit and getting ready to guide the world. Mr. Modi said India has remained immortal for thousands of years due to its spiritual confidence.
किसी राष्ट्र का सांस्कृतिक वैभव इतना विशाल तभी होता है जब उसकी सफलता का परचम विश्व पटल पर लहरा रहा होता है. और सफलता के शिखर तक पहुंचने के लिए भी ये जरूरी है कि राष्ट्र अपने सांस्कृतिक उत्कर्ष को छुए, अपनी पहचान के साथ गौरव से सर उठा करके खड़ा हो जाए.
He said religion for India means collective determination of our duties. Prime Minister said in the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, India has called for Panch Pran like freedom from the mentality of slavery and pride in our heritage. Mr. Modi said he believes that the development of Jyotirlingas is the development of India's spiritual light, the development of India's knowledge and philosophy. We have more details on this from our correspondent.
Mahakal Lok, a new center of harmony of spirituality and faith, has been opened for common devotees from today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Mahakal Lok by removing the cover through remote from the 15 feet high shivling made of kalava, means cotton thread, yesterday. Although the Mahakaleshwar temple and the entire Ujjain are center of faith, but 190 idols of various sizes made in the Mahakal Lok, the beautiful night garden and the Nandi Dwar are the added attractions now in Ujjain. Perhaps this is the reason why the Prime Minister in his 29-minute address and later in a tweet message has described Mahakal Lok as the new chapter to visit to Ujjain. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Madhya Pradesh Governor Mangu Bhai Patel, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Union Ministers Narendra Singh Tomar, Dr. Virender Kumar, Jyotirada Sindhya, Fagan Singh Kulaste and Prahlad Patel were also present on the occasion. The estimated cost of Sri Mahakal Corridor, built on the lines of Kashi Vishwanath Corridor, is 800 crore rupees. In the first phase of this project, Mahakal Lok, Rudrasagar and many other structures of religious importance have been constructed and developed at a cost of around 351 crore rupees. The second phase works will be completed in the year 2023-24. Prime Minister Modi also addressed the United Nations World Geospatial International Congress through a video message. Speaking at the event, Mr. Modi emphasized the need for an institutional approach by the international community to help each other during crisis. Terming the COVID-19 pandemic as a wake-up call, he said global organizations like the United Nations can lead the way in taking resources to the last mile in every region. He said hand-holding and technology transfer hold the key in fighting climate change.
India's development journey, two pillars are technology and talent. Technology brings transformation. India is the world's number one in real-time digital payments. If you venture out, you will see even the smallest vendors even prefer digital payments. Similarly, it was through technology that we helped the poor during COVID-19.
President Draupadi Murmu will be on a 3-day visit to Tripura and Assam from today. The President will inaugurate Tripura State Judicial Academy and lay the foundation stone for Tripura National Law University at Narsingarh, Agartala today. She will also virtually inaugurate an MLA hostel at Capital Complex, Agartala, and lay the foundation stones for various projects of Government of Tripura related to roads, schools and hostels for students, Maharaja Birendra Kishore Manikya Museum and Cultural Center at Agartala, and IIIT Agartala from Rabindra Sata Barshiki Bhavan, Agartala today. In the evening, the President will attend a civic reception to be hosted in her honor by the Government of Tripura at Town Hall, Agartala. Tomorrow, Ms. Murmu will flag off from Agartala Railway Station the special extension of Guwahati-Kolkata-Guwahati train up to Agartala, an extension of Agartala-Jiribam-Agartala Janshatabdi Express up to Khongsang, Manipur. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that India will prioritize strengthening multilateral institutions during its year-long presidency of the G20 group of developed and developing nations. She said multilateral institutions need to be strengthened and their capacity to deal with pandemics or any such future stressful global developments will have to be improved. Ms. Sitharaman made these remarks at the U.S. think tank. She is in Washington for the annual meetings of the IMF and World Bank. The finance minister said that multilateral institutions existed, but problems remained and solutions are not coming through them.
Railways revenue earnings have registered an increase of 92% in the passenger segment. The total approximate earnings of Indian Railways on originating basis during 1st April to 8th October this year are 33,476 crore rupees, registering an increase of 92% in comparison to 17,394 crore rupees achieved during the same period last year. In the unreserved passenger segment, the total approximate numbers of passengers booked during the period 1st April to 8th October 2022 is over 268 crore as compared to over 90 crore during the same period last year, showing an increase of 197%. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari launched Toyota's first-of-its-kind pilot project on flexi-fuel strong hybrid electric vehicles in India. These vehicles will run on 100% petrol as well as 20 to 100% blended ethanol and electric power. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Gadkari said the success of this pilot project will make India a global leader in the manufacture of these electric vehicles. The minister said 6 to 8% increase in agricultural growth rate is necessary for Atmanirbhar Bharat. He emphasized on the importance of converting surplus food grain and sugar into ethanol for boosting rural economy.
Bharatiya Janata Party will launch the Gujarat Gaurav Yatra on 5 different routes today and tomorrow. BJP President JP Nadda will launch the Yatra on first 2 routes today, while Union Home Minister Amit Shah will launch on the remaining 3 routes tomorrow. The Yatra is being launched to reach out to people ahead of the assembly elections in the state. A report from our correspondent.
BJP Chief JP Nadda will launch the Yatra on 2 routes today. The first route will be from Bauchraji in Mehsana district of North Gujarat to Mata Namad in Kutch, while the other one will be from Temple Town Dwarka to Porbandar in Saurashtra region. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will launch the Yatra on remaining 3 routes tomorrow, which include the one from Ahmedabad district, while the other 2 will be from Navsari district of South Gujarat. Various union ministers, along with state ministers and senior BJP leaders, will join the Gaurav Yatra at different locations. Meanwhile, the state BJP launched LED Rath campaign yesterday to spread the awareness about various initiatives and welfare schemes of the government in all the 182 assembly constituencies. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Morning Matters, now let us listen to a discussion on impact and causes of increasing incidence of flash floods and their prevention. The participants are Dr. C.K. Varshne, environmentalist, and Chetan Chauhan, journalist.
Dr. Varshne, first of all, these events which are happening during the monsoon months in India, how do you see them?
We must know that the timetable of rainfall is shifted considerably because of the global issues created by the global warming and the climate change. And as a result, we find that the monsoon pattern has changed. And now every episode of rain, though may be short, but brings very heavy downpour. What so-called the cloud burst, their numbers have increased. Now this is one factor. And also, because of the warm temperature, the glaciers are also melting rapidly and thus discharging their water. So I think there are 2-3 more factors which really put together are really the cause of this excessive flooding on one hand. On the other hand, there are a large number of human factors, anthropogenic factors, which accentuates the flooding that we have observed both in urban areas, in coastal areas, in eastern Himalayas, and in the northern Himalayas. All this put together discharges water into the river, which is highly muddy, and as a result, we find that the carrying capacity of our rivers and drainage channels progressively gets reduced, and since they cannot carry the amount of rainfall that they receive or the catchment area receives, and as a result it spreads and results into a flood. And that is the reason that we find flood losses are mounting up and human misery is escalating.
Dr. Varshne, but the changing rainfall pattern and compounded with extreme rainfall events, how difficult it will become in the coming years for the urban establishments or new cities which have come up, many of which have come upon the water bodies or the waterways or the channels for the monsoon water to drain into the water systems. What sort of a challenge is this? For
a large amount of our infrastructure gets destroyed because of this rain, as well as the amount of real estate. And, number of houses that have been destroyed and many other things that have happened are quite telling. And this trend is likely to increase even further in the coming years. The question is that the drainage channels have been blocked and the surface hydrology has not been given the kind of attention that it should be given in our developmental plan. The most of the cities which are supposed to be the smart cities have very seriously suffered from flooding. And as a result, their normal economic activity and the normal social activity has been greatly affected. Not only this, the health issues have also cropped up because of the excessive water, dirty water, and the mixing of the water with the sewage. So we have to be very, very worried, and we have to think very carefully that how we can, on a comprehensive basis, develop a land use plan and the flood management issues.
Dr. Varshne, do you think that as a last comment that the developed world has not done enough to help the developing world combat climate change?
Absolutely, because they are not only witnessing this damage, but they are also really not very sensitive to this damage. The international community and particularly the developing countries have really morally as well as from the point of view of humanitarian grounds to really share their burden of this issue. In fact, they are the ones who are largely responsible for the kind of misery that is inflicted on people who have hardly any contribution to make to the global warming.
You were listening to a discussion on impact and causes of increasing incidence of flash floods and their prevention.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Phase 1 of Mahakal Lok Corridor at Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. Says New India is moving forward with its ancient values and reviving tradition of science and research along with faith. President Draupadi Murmu to be on a 3-day visit to Tripura and Assam from today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says strengthening multilateral institutions will be India's priority during its year-long G20 presidency. India says terrorist outfits posing threats to Africa's security deserve UN Security Council's attention. IMF cuts global GDP growth projection, India to remain world's fastest growing major economy. IMF expects inflation in India to come down to 4% next year. New highly infectious variants of COVID emerge in China. And in cricket, India beat South Africa by 7 wickets in third and final ODI to clinch the series 2-1. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
I am India. Look at me. Know my name.
We're one of the most mega diverse countries on this planet.
Our weddings, our fashion statements, they're all inspired by our silver screen heroes and heroines.
A 75 years young India.
What we are really going to see India become is a powerhouse.
India 2.0.
The Journey of India from 14th October every Friday at 7 p.m. in Hindi and 10 p.m. in English on DD National.
जब जुड़े लोग से लोग वोट से वोट बने तब लोकतंत्र का सिस्टम जब जुड़े लोग से लोग वोट से वोट बने तब लोकतंत्र का सिस्टम मतदाता जुड़ते जाए बने तब ऐसा नया कनेक्शन मतदाता जुड़ते जाए बने तब ऐसा नया कनेक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन हैशटैग मतदाता जंक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन हैशटैग मतदाता जंक्शन.
Welcome back to the morning news. India has said that terrorist outfits posing threats to the security of Africa deserve the attention of the UN Security Council, UNSC. India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ruchira Kamboj, said that offering external solutions to African problems without the involvement of Africans have not served their interest. She said that Africa will remain India's top priority. The Indian envoy also reiterated the fact that collective efforts should be made towards regional diplomacy, mediation, reconciliation and security sector reforms, bringing peace to the continent. She said Africa's continuing denial of representation in the permanent category of membership in this council is a historical injustice that needs to be corrected sooner than later. Ms. Kamboj also demanded attention from the international community to the peace-building initiatives in Africa. She further added that major donors in developed countries should increase their overseas development assistance commitments. International Monetary Fund has projected that global growth will slow from 6% in 2021 to 3.2% in 2022 and 2.7% in 2023. Projecting the growth, IMF said that this will be the weakest growth since 2001, except for the global financial crisis and the acute phase of the pandemic. It said that the world's largest economies, US, China and the Euro area, will continue to stall. In the World Economic Outlook 2022 report, IMF said that India will be the fastest growing large economy in the world, cutting India's GDP growth forecast to 6.8% for financial year 2023. The IMF predicted that India will continue to remain on track to become one of the fastest growing economies in the world. IMF expects that inflation in India will come down to 4% range next year. It said that global inflation will likely peak at 9.5% this year before slowing to 4.1% by 2024.
India has decided to set up fast-track mechanism to resolve issues faced by Indian businesses and investors in the UAE. Co-chairing the 10th meeting of the India-UAE High-Level Joint Task Force on Investments in Mumbai, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal informed this. He said India-UAE relations are also witnessing an unprecedented momentum and a large number of opportunities for cooperation exist in key sectors like infrastructure and technology. Both countries also decided to explore establishment of efficient and integrated single-window solutions and virtual trade corridors to reduce time and cost in trade. China has imposed fresh lockdowns and travel restrictions amid a COVID surge as the country has detected new Omicron subvariants BF.7 and BA.5.1.7, which are highly infectious with greater transmissibility. BF.7, also known as BA.2.7, 5.2, is a sub-lineage of the COVID Omicron variant BA.5.2.1. According to local reports, the BF.7 was detected on October the 4th in Yantai and Shaoguan City. The subvariant BA.5.1.7 was detected in the Chinese mainland for the first time. World Health Organization had warned against the highly infectious BF.7 subvariant.
In Kerala, African swine flu was confirmed in a pig farm at Chirpu village in Thrissur district. Animal Husbandry Department officials said pigs in an area of 1 kilometre around the farm would be culled and scientifically eliminated. A high-level meeting chaired by Revenue Minister K. Rajan reviewed the situation yesterday. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we will bring you the story of the great personalities who received the Dada Saheb Phalke Award from 2001 onwards.
Dada Saheb Phalke Award is the highest award given in recognition of the outstanding contribution to the growth and development of Indian cinema by the recipient. In 2001, Yash Chopra, the king of romantic films, was honored with the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Dev Anand, the evergreen superstar, also received the award.
इंसान के अंदर का लोहा अपनी चमक दिखाने के लिए मौके की ताक में रहता है और जब मौका आता है तो वो ये नहीं देखता कि उसकी बीवी का दिल टूटता है या उसकी माँ का दिल टूटता है या उसकी प्रेमिका का दिल टूटता है.
Bengali author and one of India's most important filmmakers, Mrinal Sen, pioneer of the new wave film movement in Malayalam, filmmaker Adur Gopalakrishnan, acclaimed director Shyam Benegal, art filmmaker Tapan Sinha, and Manna Dey, the singer who pioneered a new genre by infusing Indian classical music in a pop framework, have received the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Cameraman V.K. Murthy, who shot India's first CinemaScope film Kagaz Ke Phool, Telugu Tamil producer D. Ramanaidu, who features in the Guinness Book of World Records for having produced films in 9 languages, and Tamil filmmaker K. Balachandar, who introduced Kamal Hassan, Rajinikanth Sridevi and Chiranjeevi were honored with the award. Bengali actor Soumitra Chatterjee, first Indian film personality to be conferred with the Commandeur at the Ordre des Arts et des Lettres, France's highest award for artists.
তার ভিতরে মহৎ একটা কিছু করার ক্ষমতা আছে, সম্ভাবনা আছে, কিন্তু করছে না। কিন্তু সেটি শেষ কথা না, সেটি ট্র্যাজেডিও নয়। সে মহৎ কিছু করছে না, তার দারিদ্র্য যাচ্ছে না, তার অভাব মিটছে না, কিন্তু তা সত্ত্বেও সে জীবন বিমুখ হচ্ছে না, সে পালাচ্ছে না, এসকেপ করছে না, সে বাঁচতে চাইছে, সে বলছে বাঁচার মধ্যে সার্থকতা।
Recipients of this prestigious award so far also include Hindi actor Pran, Hindi lyric writer Gulzar, actor-producer Shashi Kapoor, national star Manoj Kumar, who is fondly called Bharat Kumar, Telugu filmmaker K. Vishwanath, Hindi actor Vinod Khanna, first angry young man of Indian cinema and Shahenshah of Bollywood, Amitabh Bachchan, was honored with the award for the year 2018.
Vijay Dinanath John, पूरा नाम, बाप का नाम दीनानाथ जॉन, माँ का नाम सुहासिनी जॉन, गांव मांडवा, उम्र 36 साल 9 महीना 8 दिन, 16 घंटा चालू है।
Superstar Rajnikant received the award for the year 2019.
படகலைக மரல் வச்சிக்கிட்டு மீசை முறுக்கிக்கிட்டு லுங்கி கட்டிக்கிட்டு நம்பியாரு கபாலி அப்படின்னு சொன்ன உடனே குனிஞ்சி சொல்லுங்க எஜுமா அப்படி வந்து நிப்பானே அந்த மாதிரி கபாலி நினைச்சியாடா கபாலிடா 25 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாலே எப்படி போனாரோ கபாலி அப்படியே திரும்பி வந்துட்டான்னு சொல்லு.
Actress Asha Parekh received the greatest cinema honor in 2020.
In sports news, in cricket, India defeated South Africa by 7 wickets in the third and final ODI in Delhi. With this win, India clinched the 3-match series 2-1. Chasing the target of 100 runs set by South Africa, India overhauled the target, scoring 105 for the loss of 3 wickets in 19.1 overs. And now, an overview of today's newspapers. Dedicating Phase 1 of the Mahakal Lok project to the nation, restoring past glory, India's divinity will benefit world PM, writes the Indian Express. Taking note of the PM's address at the United Nations World Geospatial International Congress, must help each other during crisis as PM is a headline in the Statesman. Paying tributes to the departed leader, Sea of Humanity walks with Mulayam on his last journey, notes the pioneer. The Asian Age informs Chandrachud named as the next CGI. Under the caption, The Burning Problem, stubble burning, clear and present danger, next 40 days could be tough for the city, writes the Times of India. And finally, teething trouble, 5G gate open, but customers encounter update or invite barriers amid wait for key software, writes the Hindustan Times.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Phase 1 of Mahakal Lok Corridor at Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. Says New India is moving forward with its ancient values and reviving tradition of science and research along with faith. President Draupadi Murmu to be on a 3-day visit to Tripura and Assam from today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says strengthening multilateral institutions will be India's priority during its year-long G20 presidency. India says terrorist outfits posing threats to Africa's security deserve UN Security Council's attention. IMF cuts global GDP growth projection. India to remain world's fastest growing major economy. IMF expects inflation in India to come down to 4% next year. New highly infectious variants of COVID emerge in China. And in cricket, India beat South Africa by 7 wickets in third and final ODI to clinch the series 2-1. And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.